When Tom Cruise stepped onto that stage to accept his very first Oscar, what he said next made Hollywood insiders gasp. After 4 decades of death-defying stunts, billion-dollar blockbusters, and being snubbed time after time, the Academy finally handed him a golden statue. But here's the twist nobody saw coming. The real reason behind this honor has nothing to do with what you think, and the emotional breakdown that followed left A-listers in tears. What happened at the Governor's Award ceremony will change everything you thought you knew about Hollywood's biggest maverick.
The Ray Dolby Ballroom buzzed with electricity as cinema's elite gathered for what many are calling the most significant Governor's Awards in recent memory. Leonardo DiCaprio, Jennifer Lawrence, Sydney Sweeney, Michael B. Jordan, Dwayne Johnson, and Emma Stone packed the room, all eyes fixed on one man. Tom Cruise, the actor who literally hangs from planes and scales skyscrapers, was about to receive something he'd been chasing for 35 years. But that's not even the shocking part. The Academy president, Janet Yang, revealed that Cruise's honor wasn't primarily for his acting prowess, but for something far more controversial: his relentless fight to save theatrical cinema when streaming giants tried to destroy it. When the pandemic threatened to kill moviegoing forever, Cruise refused to let his Top Gun sequel premiere on a streaming platform, insisting theaters were sacred. That gamble earned over $1 billion and single-handedly reignited box office momentum. Industry insiders whisper that without Cruise's stubbornness, traditional cinema might be extinct right now. Alejandro González Iñárritu, the 5-time Oscar winner directing Cruise's mysterious upcoming film, took the stage to present the award. The tension in the room became palpable. Cruise has been nominated 4 times before, for Born on the 4th of July, Jerry Maguire, Magnolia, and as producer of Top Gun Maverick, but never won. The Academy always seemed to view him as too commercial, too action-oriented, too much of a movie star rather than a serious actor. Critics have long argued this prejudice cost him Oscars for performances in Rain Man, Interview with a Vampire, Eyes Wide Shut, and even his scene-stealing turn as Les Grossman in Tropic Thunder. For decades, Hollywood's most elite club kept him at arm's length, tossing him nominations like consolation prizes while handing statues to others. The snub felt personal, calculated, almost cruel. But what happened next shocked everyone. As Cruise accepted the honorary Oscar, his voice cracked with genuine emotion. This wasn't the confident action hero audiences know. This was raw vulnerability. He spoke about being a little kid in a darkened theater, watching that beam of light explode across the screen, how it sparked something primal inside him, the hunger for adventure, for understanding humanity, for telling stories that transcend borders and languages. His speech wasn't about stunts or box office records. It was about cinema's power to unite people across cultures, to make strangers laugh together, cry together, hope together. Multiple sources in the room reported seeing hardened Hollywood veterans wiping away tears. Steven Spielberg, Christopher McQuarrie, and Ben Stiller, all Cruise collaborators, sat mesmerized. The moment felt less like an award speech and more like a confession, a love letter to an art form that defined his entire existence.
Here's where things get interesting. Cruise ended his speech with 5 words that sent shockwaves through the industry. Making films is who I am. Not what he does, but who he is. Industry analysts are already dissecting what this means for his future. At 62, most actors would be winding down, accepting elder statesman roles, maybe directing. But insiders claim Cruise is planning something unprecedented. Rumors swirl about the Iñárritu project being unlike anything he's attempted before, possibly tackling serious dramatic territory that could finally earn him a competitive Oscar. Some speculate it's a calculated move to prove the Academy wrong after all these years. Others suggest Cruise simply doesn't care anymore about competitive wins, that this honorary statue represents closure, freeing him to take even wilder creative risks. The ceremony itself became a who's who of Oscar hopefuls. Ariana Grande, fresh from Wicked buzz, turned heads on the red carpet. Jacob Elordi from the upcoming Frankenstein adaptation mingled with Tessa Thompson and Adam Sandler. Everyone wanted to be seen supporting Cruise, the last true movie star in an era of franchise fatigue and streaming oversaturation. The strategic timing wasn't lost on anyone. Award season is heating up, and associating with Cruise's cinematic legacy could boost campaigns. But the genuine affection in that room felt undeniable. When Cruise's name was called, the standing ovation lasted over 2 minutes. Industry veterans who've witnessed countless ceremonies said they'd never seen anything quite like it. Debbie Allen and Wynn Thomas also received honorary Oscars that night, while Dolly Parton earned the Jean Hersholt Humanitarian Award in absentia due to health issues. But Cruise's moment dominated conversations afterward. The Academy saved his award for last, ensuring maximum impact and keeping attendees glued to their seats through the entire marathon ceremony. This strategic timing speaks volumes about Hollywood's current desperation. Oscar viewership has plummeted 66% since its 1998 peak, with only 20 million tuning in recently, comparable to a regular NFL game. The Academy needs Cruise more than Cruise needs them. His Mission Impossible films consistently draw massive crowds, proving he's one of the few stars who can still open a movie based purely on name recognition.
What makes this story even more fascinating is Cruise's complicated relationship with awards shows. In 2021, he returned his 3 Golden Globes to protest the Hollywood Foreign Press Association's lack of diversity and ethical controversies. That move positioned him as someone who values principles over trophies. Now, accepting this Oscar feels like a carefully orchestrated reconciliation. The Academy gets its biggest star to potentially boost future ceremony ratings. Cruise gets validation from the institution that repeatedly rejected him. But there's a darker undercurrent. Some industry watchers question whether this honorary Oscar is Hollywood's way of saying Cruise will never win competitively, that this consolation prize closes the book on his Oscar dreams forever. The speech about that childhood beam of light cutting through darkness wasn't just poetic nostalgia. It revealed Cruise's fundamental philosophy: cinema as transcendent experience, not mere entertainment. He talked about how movies opened his eyes to different cultures, expanded his understanding of humanity, showed him possibilities beyond his perceived limitations. This worldview explains his infamous insistence on practical stunts. When Cruise climbed the Burj Khalifa or hangs from planes, he's not showing off. He's trying to create genuine spectacle that reminds audiences why theaters matter, why communal viewing experiences trump watching content alone on phones. His commitment borders on obsession, and that obsession has defined modern action cinema. Behind the scenes, whispers suggest Cruise's upcoming projects could redefine his legacy. The Iñárritu collaboration represents a dramatic departure, potentially tackling weightier themes rather than adrenaline rushes. Cruise has hinted at wanting to do musicals, explore different genres, take risks that could alienate his fan base. The honorary Oscar might have given him the freedom to fail, to attempt projects that won't gross billions but could showcase acting range Academy voters claimed he never possessed. Industry insiders report studios are lining up with prestige projects, eager to capitalize on Cruise's renewed awards credibility. The next 5 years could see him transforming from action icon to serious dramatic actor, chasing that competitive Oscar with renewed determination.
The ceremony's guest list revealed another layer. Jennifer Lawrence, who's pivoted between blockbusters and indie darlings, watched intently. She represents the generation grappling with Cruise's legacy. Can modern stars balance commercial success with critical respect? Leonardo DiCaprio, who smoothly transitioned from heartthrob to respected actor, sat nearby. His career trajectory offers a roadmap Cruise might follow. Sydney Sweeney, Hollywood's newest sensation, studied Cruise's speech like a masterclass. The message was clear. Longevity in this business requires more than talent or looks. It demands unwavering commitment, sacrificing everything for the craft, becoming inseparable from the work itself.
Academy President Janet Yang's comments about honoring Cruise's commitment to the theatrical experience and stunt community sparked debate. Critics argue the Academy traditionally celebrates acting and filmmaking artistry, not box office success or physical feats. By highlighting Cruise's commercial achievements and stunt work, do the Academy implicitly admit their criteria have shifted? Are they now rewarding marketability over artistic merit? This philosophical question divides Hollywood. Purists insist great acting should triumph regardless of financial performance. Pragmatists counter that keeping cinema alive requires bankable stars who can actually fill theaters. Cruise represents the pragmatist camp, proving again and again that audiences will show up for the right star in the right movie. The absence of Dolly Parton due to health issues added bittersweet undertones. Her pre-recorded acceptance speech emphasized giving back, sharing blessings, lifting others up. The contrast with Cruise's intensely personal reflection on individual passion highlighted different paths to legacy. Parton's humanitarian work extends beyond entertainment, touching education and literacy programs worldwide. Cruise's legacy remains purely cinematic. He hasn't diversified into philanthropy or activism like many peers. This singular focus makes him both admirable and slightly enigmatic. Who is Tom Cruise beyond the movies? Does he exist separately from his on-screen persona, or has he truly merged identity with craft to the point where distinctions blur?
What nobody's talking about is how this honorary Oscar might haunt Cruise. Honorary awards typically go to veterans in their twilight years, career capstones for those unlikely to win competitively again. Mel Brooks received one at 97. Is the Academy subtly telling Cruise, at 62, that his competitive chances have ended? That this consolation prize acknowledges his contributions while closing the door on future nominations? If so, the honor becomes a polite rejection wrapped in applause. Cruise's emotional response might have reflected this realization. After 35 years of chasing Academy approval, he finally got it, but perhaps not the way he truly wanted. The honorary Oscar simultaneously validates and dismisses, celebrates and concludes. The ceremony's strategic positioning ahead of award season wasn't coincidental. Governor's awards generate buzz, remind Academy members of honorees' contributions, and influence voting psychology. By feting Cruise now, the Academy plants seeds. When his Iñárritu film drops in October 2026, voters will remember this moment, this speech, this emotion. If the performance delivers, that honorary Oscar could paradoxically boost competitive chances, proving to skeptics that Cruise deserves serious dramatic consideration. The Academy might be hedging bets, honoring his past while leaving room for future recognition. It's a calculated move that reveals Hollywood's complex relationship with its biggest stars. As Cruise left the stage clutching his first Oscar, cameras captured something revealing. His smile seemed simultaneously triumphant and melancholy, like someone who won a battle but questioned if the war mattered anymore. He'd spent 4 decades proving himself through increasingly dangerous stunts, massive box office hauls, and committed performances across genres. The Academy finally blinked first, offering this honorary Oscar as a peace treaty. But peace treaties emerge from exhaustion, not victory. Both sides compromised. Cruise got his statue, the Academy maintained its gatekeeping power. Whether this marks a new chapter or a sad ending remains unclear. What's certain is that Tom Cruise, the last real movie star, now has his Oscar, and cinema itself hangs in the balance.